new Mega Evolution abilities just dropped in the Pokemon Home update, and this is gonna change Pokemon Champions in a massive way. Let's take a look. Alright, if you didn't see my leak video the other day, we covered a bunch of potential leaks and rumors for these different abilities, but we do have confirmation on a handful of them as the Pokemon update maintenance last night came through, Home is updated, and it was getting ready for Champions, and in that data, we were able to discern a handful of different abilities, including new abilities for the Megas, which I know we're all waiting for. Like, I really want to know what Mega Gliscopod is going to have. I really want to know what Mega Scolipede is going to have. There's a lot of really cool new Megas in Legends EA, but what are their abilities going to be? Because that's going to transform whether or not they are really good or just mediocre and average. Let's take a look at what we got here. Central Leaks reporting on, this is interesting, only 4 new abilities were added to the Pokemon Home data, specifically the Champions data. However, there are 4 placeholders for new abilities for Legends EA Megas. This means that there are at least 4 Pokemon who got new Megas and new abilities that won't be compatible with Champions at release. We won't know these 4 new abilities until they get added to Champions in later seasons. If you guys are excited for Champions, by the way, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be covering it here and having a blast. Getting back, dusting off my old VGC days. We're going to be playing some competitive Pokemon here once again. But 4 Pokemon revealed, 4 Pokemon still uncertain, and there's a handful of others that we do not know that may be getting old abilities or maybe new abilities that they just haven't revealed yet, but we do have some drip feed of information here. Centro then goes on to say, this is disappointing. Pokemon Home data was updated with Champions compatibility. The actual data on the Pokedex from the game hasn't been added yet. That means we won't know the abilities of the new Megas until probably a second home maintenance next week. So we're still waiting on another maintenance. We're still waiting on another update. But again, we do have a few. First one, baby, Piercing Drill, which actually came from the leak. We were spot on this one. When the Pokemon uses contact moves, it can hit even targets that are protecting themselves, dealing a quarter of the damage that the move would otherwise deal. Everything aside from the target's protective effects is still triggered. So this is going to be Mega Excadrills' signature ability, Piercing Drill, which is kind of like Unseen Fist, but not as good, I guess. Basically, you're going to be able to use contact moves, break through, protect. It does mean that Mega Excadrill, one of its best moves, Earthquake, not a contact move, be worthwhile there. But I do think Mega Excadrill has some serious potential. This is a Pokemon that already was pretty strong. Steel typing, ground typing, pretty solid there. You've got 165 attack, you've got 103 speed, decent physical bulk, 110 HP, 100 defense. Not too shabby there. Its special stats obviously leave a bit to be desired. Doesn't really use its special attack. Its special defense is going to be weakened. You're not going to be able to kind of inhibit that or, work around that by utilizing, Assault Vest or Focus Sash if you're going to use its Mega. So a little bit of a trade-off there. I'm not quite sure where that 103 speed tier is going to land in the competitive metagame, but being able to play around Protect is pretty nice because a lot of times Pokemon will use Protect and they'll put themselves in a situation where, maybe they can live on a Focus Sash or they can take a hit and kind of set up something else. So being able to hit through Protect, always a really advantageous position to be in VGC and competitive Pokemon. I think this is a little underwhelming, all things considered, but I think there's some potential here for Excadrill. I'm not considering this to be like the strongest thing, but I think it'll be pretty decent. A couple abilities that we had already seen. Dragon Eyes, the Pokemon's normal type moves become dragon type moves, and their power is boosted by 20%. This is for Alligator's new Mega ability. Pretty straightforward here. It's going to be able to hit with those double edges. It's going to hit with those that return a little harder. It's going to give him some really powerful dragon type moves as a result of that, being able to turn your normal type moves into dragon type. Pretty solid. Again, nothing too crazy. Pixelate, but for dragon. Mega Soul, probably the most intriguing of the abilities we've seen so far for Meganium. Even when the sunlight has not turned harsh, the Pokemon can use moves as if the weather were harsh sunlight. That means that your Solar Beam is activating right away. That means that your Synthesis is recovering more. Meganium at the moment does not get Growth, but it would mean that Growth was doubled. So some pretty interesting stuff there. I think your Weather Ball would turn fire, stuff like that. Again, isolated to the Meganium, so other weathers won't impact it. So if rain is up, you can still fire off your Solar Beams. I think that's really interesting. I'm super curious to see how this Meganium can function in competitive because I think it could be really good. And then the last new ability that we got is Spicy Spray. When the Pokemon takes damage from a move, it burns the attacker. So this is gonna be Mega Scovillain's ability. When the Pokemon takes damage from a move, and as of right now, it seems as though this is not a contact-based move. Just when you take damage, you're gonna burn the attacker. That is pretty significant. That is a very, very good ability. The problem is it's on a Pokemon that is mixed offensive, which is one of the biggest letdowns I've ever seen in my life. Scovillain has 65 base HP, 85 defense, 85 special defense, It's pretty slow, 75 speed. Its attacks are 138 on both sides. Those are good. But again, we're talking about a Pokemon that is not a defensive Pokemon. So why are we giving it an insanely powerful defensive ability? They must hate this guy. Like, this is honestly kind of devastating for Scovillain, because I legitimately feel like you're better off just not Mega Evolving it and keeping it with Chlorophyll as its regular form. Like, why would I ever Mega Evolve this thing when my defenses are 85, 85, and 65 HP to use this super cool ability, by the way. Super cool ability, Spicy Spray. You take damage, you're burning something. That sounds great, but how many hits are you actually going to be able to take? I think that's a massive miss. I think people are probably pretty upset about that, because I feel like this is going to be meh. I don't know. It just feels like a very strange decision to give this super offensive Pokemon an ability that really should be better served for a defensive Pokemon. That's really what it comes down to. It's obviously got some super cool moves like Spicy S-Track. You can boost the target attack stats but lower the defense stats. But that's counterintuitive too. Like, you're gonna boost their attack stat and then burn them to neutralize it when you want to hit them with like foul play and things like that. It's just a very weird situation. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing, but to me, it feels like it's a little bit of a miss for Scovillain, which I was really hopeful for, getting something hyper offensive that can kind of benefit its unique build as a mixed attacker with middling speed. I almost feel like it would have been better off if it just like had speed boost or something, man. I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed about this one, I'm not gonna lie. Now, as a reminder, the other day I covered a bunch of different abilities for different megas. You should check that video out in the description below. We talked about things like Drampa potentially getting Drizzle, Clefable getting Misty Surge, which is a little weird. Piercing Drill on Excadrill was actually correct, which is pretty cool. Pyroar getting a Thermal Boost, Dragon-type Maw. Scovillain's was wrong. It ended up burning, but not like Leech Seed. We'll have to see if there's any secret effects of that. By the way, don't forget, sometimes abilities have like secret effects. Like Water Bubble is one of them, where, you know, its description doesn't tell the full story. Elestrals getting some sort of transistor type of ability. Excalibur with Thermal Exchange. Some of the kind of the bigger guys, Zero Aura Speed Boost. Staraptor maybe getting Contrary or Defiant. Golisopod getting maybe Tough Claws. Glimmora getting Levitate potentially. Crabominable maybe getting Contrary or Defiant. Lucario Z maybe getting Prankster, although the thing is really fast, so I'm not super sold there. Really exciting if Raichu gets Electric Surge, Raichu Y. That could be really dope. So there's some really good ideas here. Drampa getting Drizzle is probably one I'm most excited for, because I love Weather Wars. I think they're super fun. Terrain Wars also super fun. Only 2 new abilities so far though today. Piercing Drill and of course Scovillain's Spicy Spray. Both cool abilities. Not sure they're going to move the needle a ton for these 2 megas. That's kind of my conclusion here. I think Excadrill is okay. Again, anytime you're giving it a Mega Stone, you have to sacrifice something else. You're sacrificing that Assault Vest. You're sacrificing a Focus Sash. You're sacrificing its regular ability. In the case of Scovillain, again, I'm convinced Chlorophyll's better. Let me know your thoughts on these new Mega abilities, and stay tuned to the channel, because certainly we're going to get more before Champions drops, and I'll have it here for you first. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.